Hi everyone, once again, welcome to my stories. So, today I'm going to share about the untold stories, my story, of my life, part one. Yeah. So, and I'll start by saying that there are those stories that they are never told or people don't want to share, not because the stories don't matter, but probably they brought trauma or painful moments to remember in our lives. So back then, after high school, things were done differently, unlike currently. So we used to stay at home like 1 year before you are taken, maybe you are invited for you are called for university or maybe a college. So I was there at home. Of course, home was good. Everything was. We were not badly off at home in the village. We were, let me say, we were stable and everything. I used to get everything. Yes. So again, our parents are those kind of parents. They believed in, of course, attaching their children to their family members or even family friends. So instead of paying for the hostel when you are taken to school. And I remember my grandfather had a lot of connections, and he took me to Nairobi to a family member because, of course, I happened to have been taken in a school in Nairobi to pursue my career. And I was happy, of course, because I had gone to advance my career, my education. I was very happy. And again, going to Nairobi, when you're in Firenze, there at Embu, you going to Nairobi or something. Yeah. So it was seen like one of them, like a stepping stone, an opportunity. And of course, I had gone to better my future. Yeah. And remember, this was the song of the day, to even from the teachers, from the people next to you. People thought that career is the song of is the future. And the people would always encourage us to work hard, get an A, do well so that you can get a career of your choice. And currently, as I said in my previous video, currently we are looking at the skills of the child. Yeah, so I was taken in by a family, and at first everything seemed okay, things were very okay. I was treated so well, and they were very kind. The family was very warm, the children loved me, and everything. But there is one thing I noted. I noted that the house managers of the family, they never used to even last for like a month. Some would leave even in 3 weeks' time or 2 weeks' time. And Apple, I was able to note that there was an issue to do probably with the lady of the house, because I don't think even some house managers were very nice. I used to there help them with house chores. We were friends because we were intimate, and you would hear the complaints, the things they were going through. Yes, my dear ones, things, the niceness expired, and of course, mine now expired, the good treatment expired, and of course, the tension now started now in the house after the last nanny left. And I think she also got tired of employing, and she decided, I think, to keep me or take me as a nanny or house manager, of which I was okay. Yeah, I was okay. I wasn't paid, but I was okay. Of course, I used to assist her because I thought we would work together, because we all used to leave the house. I go to school, and her and the family, the children go to school also, and then they used to go to work. So I remember I was doing so well in school. Let's go back to school. I was doing so well. I was very focused. I would read even to midnight, and then from there I would sleep. Yes. So when the last nanny left, I would wake up now at 3 a.m. Yes, 3 a.m. Remember what I told you, that I was turned to a house manager. I remember I'm there working hard so that I can be able to pursue my dream. Yeah, the dream that I was really chasing. Yes, so I woke up at 3 a.m. That was my daily schedule. And then I would delete a jiko. From there, the jiko was meant to, you put water on a big sufuria, and this water was for bathing everyone to bathe. I don't know. I still wonder why we didn't have hot shower yet they were capable. Anyway, I think that's why I make sure that I have hot shower in my house. Yes. So then from there, I would prepare snacks. They're still asleep. And then from there, for the children, the popcorns and all that, I thank God I was able to learn how to make popcorns also. And then from there, I would make breakfast. Yeah, the adults used to take tea, and then the children would take porridge. And then, of course, from there, I want to wake up the children and then bathe them and then dress them, and then I prepare them to school. That was the morning now preparation. For the evening, again, it was another routine, which maybe I will share later. Yes. So, um, once I was done now preparing and everything, I go to kitchen and then I find the tea has already been taken to the master bedroom. So I have not taken breakfast. And I would go days by days without breakfast, no lunch. It was only supper. I used to rely on supper. Yes, and I'll talk about supper maybe in part two, how it was. Yeah, so food became a struggle for me, not for the family, but for me. Can you imagine? Imagine milk being marked with permanent marker in the fridge so that I may not maybe make use of it. Some petty things like weird, let me call them weird things. And I would pray that one day I would have found a fridge in my own house. I think that was one of the things that I bought among the first thing when I got a job. I would pray for a microwave. I prayed for so many things I used to use there and see me myself being punished with them. Yeah. So things like milk, like meat, eggs, sausages, I never used. That one was totally out of bounds for me. Yeah. So as I said, I used to, now it reached a point I didn't have now breakfast. So what used to happen is, because now again sugar used to be, hidden and all that. So what I used to do, it reached a point I was so hungry, and I remember I used to take porridge, the remainders for the leftovers for the porridge from the children's cups after they leave for school, and then now because I used to, you know, collect the cups and go to wash the utensils before I go to school. So in the process of washing the utensils, imagine I will take the leftovers, and you can imagine porridge, leftover for porridge usually turn to water, and that is what I want to take it, watery porridge, let me call it. So there were days I went so hungry. But I would pretend, I would put a smile into my face to my classmates, to the environment, people surrounding, and pretend. And I used to work so well. I would smile. I think one of the major weakness that people note is a smile. And I'm glad my son has taken after it. He smiles a lot. Yeah. And smile to my classmates, to the lecturers. I was a smiling girl. And I acted like someone who has already eaten the food. Yet deep inside me, I was struggling. So one day, I remember it was on a Saturday, and the father of the house used to take breakfast from either study room or the master bedroom, because those rooms we never used to go there. And one day on a Saturday, he decided not to take breakfast from there. He decided to join us in the sitting room. Oh, before I forget, that day it happened that the socket and an issue, either the socket or the cooker and an issue from the kitchen. So I was told to use is it the conda coil? Yes, from the dining, which was put in the dining table and then connected to the sitting room socket. And I remember we were making, it was a Saturday, so we used to make sausages and the eggs, and a nice breakfast, very heavy breakfast. So I made the daddy would take two eggs or even two sausages, and now the wife and the children, I would also make for them. The children make one, and they were counted. So immediately I'm done serving, there is nothing used to remain for me to prepare. And the man is there, so he observed and he was able to notice that I didn't get anything. So he posed a question, and you know what he was answered? Let me smile, because nowadays I'm able to afford everything. I think that's why I worked so hard. Yes. So she said that they have finished, so I cannot be given anything to make. And I remember he got some cash from his pocket and he sent one of the son to the kiosk, I think canteen, to go and buy some eggs. And for me, I was like, I'm okay. I was used to this life, but he insisted that I must take. Of course, I was able to find some eggs, and that was the first day I took two eggs in that house. Yeah, and the lady of the house was not happy. So on Monday, the daddy of the house now called me. He created sometimes, and he called me in the office. Remember, this is my it's a relative, so I respect him so much. He called me and he was trying to investigate things that have been happening in the house because honestly, he never knew. He was an introvert, so he never knew, and mostly he used to stay either in the study room or in the master bedroom. And for me, I didn't want to share anything because I didn't want them, to break up or have anything just because of me. And honestly, I knew I would go home over the holidays and I would share with my parents and would come with another, maybe another solution. So, yes, so I never shared anything. Yeah, back to school. Remember, I said that I was very bright, even to a point where by now some lecturers would, give me a topic which I would go teach, and then from there they would give me something. Yes, something little, of course, that I could afford to buy some like oil, and anything that I require, the pants and anything that a girl may need. So one day, a painful moment. One day my father came to visit us. And my father, up to date, he stays around the Thika areas. So you can imagine someone who has traveled from Thika comes with pineapples. So he visited with a lot of pineapples and so many other things in the bag. And, he's there in the sitting room. And remember, I told you that my dad used to pay. So my stay there, I was paying. As much as I was turned to a house manager, I used to pay on a monthly basis. So my dad came to visit, and guess what? I was blocked from seeing him, and she ensured that she was talking to him throughout. Anyway, they are relatives; they had a lot to catch up, but I couldn't tell him anything. I couldn't share anything. I didn't even now when he left. Imagine they shared the pineapples amongst themselves, and I did not even get, not even a piece, my dear ones, not even a piece of pineapples. Yes, and this is coming from my own dad. Yes, not even one. Hmm? That moment broke me inside me. Hmm? I got broke. I remember another time she came with fish, and I was told to make it, a wet fry. I was a very nice, chef, and being guided by the nannies who were there that I found. And one person who like learning. In my previous video, I've been talking about the passion and video and how you can make income from it. And I told you that I one person who like learning skills and all that. So I meant it very nicely, and it was a very sumptuous meal, mm, very beautiful, you know. And I served it and we are all in the sitting room. Remember what? Let me tell you what she uttered. She was like, let's pray. I'm sure some people are salivating. I stood there as we prayed and I asked myself and also I asked my Lord. Of course, this woman cannot be talking that way she doesn't mean the children or even herself, and the husband was not there, so it's not the husband. Definitely it's me who is being told that I'm salivating. And I remembered the many fish we used to take at home. For me, home we used to eat everything, as I said that we were not badly off at home. We used to afford most of the things. We may not be have had things like fridge or microwave in the fridge, but at least we would afford all these things that we were preparing there. So for me, I didn't feel the need to eat that fish. So what I did, I just left the kitchen and I started now washing the utensils. And then I went to my bedroom, my small bedroom. I sat there and I was going through my books as I wait for them to eat so that I can wash now the remaining utensils. I didn't eat that fish. So later, one of the children who was sent by the mother, and he spoke in Swahili. It was like they used to call me auntie, I think because I was bigger than them, but they are my cousins. So the child told me, auntie, 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 mama said that I give you this, you eat or I eat it. Do you know what was brought to me? It is the hand of the fish, and that fish was very big. It was the hand. So I looked at him and the statement. So kwanza he spoke in Kiswahili. Auntie, mama amesema nikupatie ama nikule. So I was like, so I just told him in a very kind way, please eat, I'm okay. And you know, the boy started eating the fish. He was okay. So I think it's the dignity. It's all what I had been left with. I may have servant and everything, bearing in mind, this is a girl whom at home I used to eat all the meals. I was well taken care of by my parents. My dad has a business and my mom was working, of course, permanently employed. So you can imagine we were not lacking themselves. By the way, this story is for over 25 years ago. It's not just a latest story. It's over 25 years ago, and today I just felt I needed to share it. Probably there is someone who has ever gone through a certain struggle and you'd want to maybe to share with the people as a learning lesson. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering why I didn't tell my parents or why I never called my parents. Let me take you back to them days. Communication was very poor. It was very difficult. There were no mobile phones. I think there used to be called booth, whereby people would call to the nearest town with a booth. It used to operate with coins. And then from there, someone would pick whom doesn't probably never doesn't know even your feelings. Then you pass a message, the person will decide either to pass the message or not. So it depends whether your parents were known or not. The other means of communication was letter writing. I didn't know where the poster for Nairobi is. I didn't have the stamps, the bashas, and to write and all that. So communication was a barrier at that moment. So I kept quiet. Sometimes I would cry, yes, but I also made a decision that I cannot change my environment where I am, but I will change my future. So I focused on my studies, and by God's grace, I passed. I passed very well. Some papers I had credit, others distinction. So I did so well because I used to work so hard for that, so hard. Yes. And I went through a lot, which I will share in my part 2 of the story. And I believe some of these things made me, there is a learning lesson. And I thank God for what happened to me. One, I'm able to treat my house managers well. I try my best. Number two, to me, food is nothing. May it be a friend or whoever has passed by. If I'm eating, I tell my God that we need to share the little that I have. Another thing, I managed at least to save, and I was able to buy the things that I used to admire there. Another thing is, I have helped many, very many. Those people would reach me, that reach out. Maybe they're universities, you need like 200 shillings of I, even if we are not relatives, as long as some were even my past student, I would help them. And if you are here watching, I'm sure you know that I was a bit kind to you. I am one person who learned to be kind, to treat people well. I don't want to treat people the way I used to be treated. Like to me, what is milk? What is egg? What are sausages? Meat. Those are normal things that, we, you can share freely. So, my lessons for my part 1 is not every opportunity is safe. Not every opportunity is safe. Every opportunity you get, not every opportunity is safe, but it can still shape you. And I believe that I am whom I am because of that opportunity. Yes. Another thing I learned from there is that education can become your escape. The hard work that, the way I used to read and all that, you know, as I was able to survive, but I used to read, and that's why I got that distinction. Strength, another thing is that strength is usually built in silence. I think I became more strong. Yes, I realized I was traumatized then. I was hurt. It was painful, but I became more strong. And that's why I'm whom I am now. Or, yes, whom I am. And I think also surviving becomes a victory. Because if my parents, took care of me then and continued staying with me, everything was easy for me. I was in a boarding school. From all the way, even in primary, I was in a boarding school. I think I wouldn't become the person that I was. It was good that I was able to see life differently from how I used to be treated home. It was good I was able to be treated differently because now I know how I'm supposed to treat people. I know I'm very firm, I'm very strict in my career to people because I want to mentor them, to become the right people. But honestly, to me, I know that I can share, especially food. Let's treat each other. Let's treat our friends, our family, friends, and all that the right manner, the way you'd want your own children to be treated. So please, thank you so much for listening. I'm hoping that my story has touched somebody. And if you are there treating even the house managers in the wrong way, please change. Yes, people are different. We are all human beings, but you never know about tomorrow. So in my next part, I will continue with part 2 of this. We'll hook up for part 2 of this story, which is more interesting, of course. And it's a long story, but I believe that part 2 also will be better. Yes, so thank you and God bless you. Bye.